Welcome to Inside Marquette Basketball with Marquette men's head coach Shaka Smart. We're back here at the Al McGuire Center, and Coach, you and your team are back after a very good week at the Maui Invitational. A lot has happened since we caught up with you the first time. A road win against Illinois.
When was that, like a month ago?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it probably feels like a month ago, but you did hit the road. You got your first road win against Illinois, and then a really good week in the Maui Invitational with wins over UCLA. Top-ranked Kansas made it to the championship game against top-ranked now Purdue. So just overall, Coach, it was a very busy week for your team. 3 games in 3 days. How do you think that they responded to the challenge of the competition and the schedule in Hawaii?
Well, it was a heck of a challenge. We knew that going in. I think our guys did a good job in preparation, did a good job staying together. There's some things that are outside of your control when you get in those type of tournaments. The travel obviously is what it is. Some of the elements that you're dealing with that go into preparing for the game. I think probably the biggest challenge for us was waiting so long to play. You know, we went out there on Friday. We did not play until Monday, and we had the last game Monday evening, which was at 10:30 our time. So it was a bit of an adjustment in terms of just waiting, getting ready to play. I thought UCLA did a great job playing with great aggressiveness. We got down by as much as 12 in that game. But our guys had a lot of poise, hung in there, stayed together. Sean Jones made a big shot down the stretch, and then we got to stop when we needed it.
You said after the Purdue game that, you know, when you're assessing how your team performed in Hawaii in the Invitational, you said we are ahead culturally than maybe where we want to be offensively or defensively. What did you mean by that, and what are you learning about your team, especially to get that much playing time for your guys against some elite competition?
Well, I think anybody this time of year is in a mode that you have to grow, you have to improve. I don't think there's any team in the country that is where they want to be going into conference play yet, or certainly going into the postseason yet. That's okay. It's November. You know, for us, we always break down basketball into 3 areas. Culturally, that's how we act, interact, and respond. Defensively, it's obviously trying to stop the other team from scoring, and offensively, that's us trying to score. And those areas are all very much related. You know, there's so much of what we try to do culturally that impacts the offensive and defensive end. Obviously, offense impacts defense. When you score, you have a better chance to set your defense and get a stop, and defense impacts offense. What I meant when I said that was our guys' connectivity, their willingness to communicate with each other and respond to challenging situations is probably a little bit ahead of just some of the X's and O's and offensive and defensive details that we need to keep improving at. It's understandable just because although we've practiced a lot since the start of the season, we've only played a handful of games. And you got different combinations out there that are still learning how to play together, how to defend together, how to score together. So we'll keep working to improve.
Let's talk about the defense a little bit, Coach, because I think that was something that stood out from the 3 games. You mentioned you had to come back down 12 against UCLA, and with Kansas it was just suffocating defense that Coach Bill Self admitted that they were playing sped up and not like themselves because of the pressure that you guys and the havoc that you guys were putting on them. What did you assess with, you know, the turnovers, the deflections? How are you able to create offense off your defense?
Our guys play defense generally with very, very good energy. It's what we demand in practice, and it's become the norm for us. That doesn't mean we take it for granted. That doesn't mean that it just happens. But again, it's a standard that we expect. We want to get our hands on the basketball. We want to make things difficult for the other team. I think when our guys do that and are highly connected, we can be a very, very good defensive team. We're not as consistent yet as we want to be. There's a few areas that we've got to continue to improve and grow in. We actually had our State of the Defense talk yesterday, which followed the State of the Offense talk the day before, which is just something we do every several games. We show our guys statistically where we are in some key areas. We show our guys how we can improve, things that we're doing well that we need to keep doing. And so, you know, I love the great possessions that we had on defense. Some of them our guys made look like a clinic. And then I don't love so much some of the other possessions. And so over the course of the game, is every possession going to be perfect? No, but we want to work towards You know, Nick Saban always says, you know, if we work towards perfection, then eventually we'll be excellent. And I like that, you know, because basketball is a game of mistakes. You're probably never going to be perfect, but we sure as heck can get to excellence, and that's going to win us a lot of games.
What did the state of offense conversation reveal about where your team is the first 6 games here of the season and what you guys showed in the 3 games in Maui?
Well, you know, the thing about offense and defense is that there's the process and then there's the result or the outcome. So you can play really well on the offensive end over the course of a possession, get a wide open 3-point shot and miss it, and they get the rebound, and the outcome is 0 points. But the process was followed well. We believe over the long term, if we can do that, we will make our fair share. We've got good shooters. We've got guys that work on their shooting quite a bit. So a lot of the state of the offense conversation was, hey, this was really good. You know, continue to play with speed, continue. We're getting even more so than last year the shots that we want to get. We break shots down into 3 categories. We like category 1, we like category 2, we don't like category 3. And we're getting a heck of a breakdown right now of those 3 categories. So the guys are really doing what we're asking them to do. There's certainly a lot of outcome or result-based statistics where we want to get better, free throw shooting, outside shooting for a lot of guys. There's some possessions we'd certainly love to have back, but overall our guys are playing the way we want to play.
I'm not sure an individual player had a bigger challenge and answered that challenge more than Oso Yodaro.
Quite honestly, played against 3 NBA players. Adem Bona, Hunter Dickinson, and then the best player in college basketball, Zach Edey, who will play in the NBA. And so anytime as a college basketball player, you have to play 3 games. And again, we played the last game on Monday and then a noon game on Wednesday. So in less than 3 days, almost 2.5 days, he battled. He's an absolute warrior. I love the guy. I wish we could clone him and bring in a version of him every 2 years so that we had 2 of him on the team at any given time. Really, really grateful for the fight that he showed. You know, him being named to the all-tournament team. Listen, anytime you're called one of the top 6 players in an event like that, that says something about you as a player. And I really hope he can take from that a lot of confidence moving forward.
Yeah, I think confidence for sure. And you said he played against 3 NBA players. Does he belong in that conversation?
Absolutely.
With how he handled?
Yeah, he will play in the NBA after this year.
Now it's time for post-game comments presented by Ticketmaster.
How much were you looking forward to that matchup with the All-American and Hunter Dickinson?
I just wanted to win. That's really the biggest thing for me. They have good players. They're a great team, obviously. I just wanted to do what I could to win.
Regarding defense, could you talk a little bit about those 2 consecutive blocks against the backcourt? Because I think that really helps spur you guys.
Yeah, they were getting downhill a little bit. I just stepped out, had my teammates back. Yeah, we talk about relationships. I mean, defense is all relationships, having your brothers back. We really want to keep guys out of the paint, out of the moat, and we just have to keep going with that.
What was the plan with Hunter, and what did you feel like you did successfully against him?
Just tried to keep it out of his hands. He's a talented scorer when he catches the ball. The guards did a great job heating the ball up, making it hard for them to throw it in while I fronted the post, and yeah, it was a team effort.
Shaka Smart's interview is presented by Wintrust, Wisconsin's bank, the official banking partner of Marquette University.
Golden Eagles fans, open a Marquette checking account with Wintrust Wisconsin's Bank today and score golden perks like a $50 opening bonus, free ATMs nationwide, and your very own exclusive MU Golden Eagles debit card. Rep the blue and gold at home or on the road. And don't miss this golden opportunity to let everyone know. Scan now to open your account today. Wintrust Wisconsin's Bank, proud to be the official bank of Marquette University.
After a serious injury, you'll need an experienced team on your side. Call Gruber Law Offices today. Proud partner of Marquette Athletics. One call, that's all.
We live for the moments that move us. The big ones, the small ones, the ones that light up our hearts. At Aurora Healthcare, our heart and vascular team is trusted to make more moments possible with breakthrough treatments only found here and the region's top-ranked heart program, we're the first choice of referring physicians and patients. Enjoy more moments that move you with Wisconsin's #1 heart care.
Back on Inside Marquette Basketball with head coach Shaka Smart here at the Al McGuire Center. Coach, getting your thoughts on your team's performance in the Maui Invitational. Big wins, UCLA, top-ranked Kansas. In the UCLA game, we talked a little bit about your team having to come back. David Joplin led the way with 19 points.
Jop's a guy who's put incredible work into his body and his game over the course of this past offseason. He's still working, but I think the UCLA game was a sign of what's to come. He has that in him. When we played UCLA, we noted early on in our preparation that we might have an advantage at that spot because they really were playing two bigger guys in the game, two traditional bigs. And so one of them was going to have to guard Jop. We felt like that could gain us an advantage on the offensive end, and it did. But he deserves a lot of credit for his aggressiveness.
And then Sean Jones, he put together a great 3 games as well. The big 3 against UCLA, he had 20 points overall in the tournament, a handful of assists, terrific defense as well. I mean, I think we saw him flying around and we saw his quickness just up and down the court.
He's really coming into his own, as are Ben and Chase, our other 2 sophomores. I mean, you look for guys coming out of their freshman year into their second year to take a big jump. And I think all 3 of those guys have demonstrated that they are doing that and are capable of doing even more over the course of the rest of this season. For Sean, he brings us energy. He brings us toughness, even though he's the smallest guy on the court. He brings us athleticism, and he makes those electric plays. My favorite thing is when he stops and then starts again, and that makes him almost impossible to stay in front of. The 3 was a big, big shot from the standpoint of mental toughness because he had missed 4 good looks from 3 earlier in that game, and he shot it. They backed up off of him, and we tell guys all the time, hey, if the defense doesn't respect you and it's a good shot, you got to take it. And that was a crucial time. We were down 1 at the time, and he stepped up and believed in himself, which is huge.
Like you said, he's still building confidence. What can a moment like that do for a player's confidence?
Well, again, I think our sophomores, what you're seeing from them is, hey, I've worked a full off season. I've played a full season. I have those experiences in my pocket, and now I'm ready to take on the world. And, you know, the good thing for Sean, for Chase, for Ben, is early in this season, we've played Illinois, UCLA, Kansas, and Purdue. So now it's not like we'll see any opponent and they're going to be, you know, awestruck, or they're going to see someone that's head and shoulders better than what we've already played against. So I'm really excited for those guys, and hopefully that's a template for all our young players moving forward of the jump that they can make from freshman to sophomore year.
Well, your team certainly was not awestruck against the Kansas Jayhawks. They were ranked the top-ranked team in the country. That is the 3rd win over the top-ranked team in the country in Marquette's history. It had not been done in a long time, and you're first, obviously, here as head coach. So I'm not sure you even had time to celebrate that win as you were preparing for Purdue, but a statement win like that, Coach, what does that say about how your team handled the fight, handled the challenge, and really just played your style of basketball?
Well, our guys were very confident. You know, we really didn't get caught up in the rankings. I think early in the year, you can kind of take the rankings with a grain of salt. If you're the #1 team in the country in February or March, then that shows over the course of the season that you've been the best team. But we obviously had a ton of respect for them coming in. Our staff had a lot of familiarity with Kansas, coming from the same league as them. And at the same time, like I said, our guys were confident. And we knew that if we followed our plan and we played with guts, that was our game theme, you know, down in Hawaii, that we'd be fine. Play with great aggressiveness. We knew that Hunter Dickinson and Kevin McCullough were going to be a load to deal with. Those guys are All-American level players. But our guys flew around, they kept playing, they got their hands on the basketball. We got our 32+ deflections, which was huge. And we were able to turn defense into offense.
Yeah, 20 points off of turnovers. Oso had a huge game, 21 and 9. Bench points as well. I mean, Chase Ross gave you 12 off the bench. Ben Gold hit a couple of big threes as well. Did you see maybe the depth of your team show up in that win against Kansas?
Well, we have good depth, and I think for us to play our best, we need all of our good players to play well. You mentioned the shots by Ben. Those were huge. They almost felt like 4 instead of 3 because when he goes in, anytime you're playing a big aircraft carrier, big guy like Hunter Dickinson, you want to try to pull him away from the basket on his defensive end. And obviously Ben Gold is capable of doing that. So when he hit those 2 threes during that stretch, it was backbreaking for them, and it was inspiring for our guys.
In the Purdue game, we talked about Zach Edey, what a difficult matchup he is. You guys made it close. You battled back in the second half, and you said after the game, you know, that these teams will play in March. It might not be Marquette and Purdue, but you are playing teams that might be playing each other in March. That Purdue game, I mean, just the guts, you said, was the theme. What did they show you?
I mean, I thought both teams played with a lot of toughness and fight. I'll be honest, both teams were tired. I mean, it was a lot of guys were operating on fumes out there. There's a reason that in the NBA, they never play 3 days in a row. And when you get to the playoffs, they never play on back-to-back games. Not comparing us to the NBA, but just physically, bodies need time to recover. So when you play 3 games in less than 3 days, you got to battle, and that affected both teams. I did think that Edey gave them a real anchor, you know, just being able to throw the ball to him around the basket, and for him to, you know, rebound the ball the way he did was huge. But as you mentioned, our guys showed a lot of fight. We battled, you know, put ourselves in position where down the stretch, a couple plays go differently, you know, we could have won the game. We did not shoot the ball particularly well. But again, those are good shots. We'll take an open 3 from Stevie Mitchell, from Sean Jones, from Ben Gold. Those guys work, and they're going to make plenty of shots over the course of the season.
Inside Marquette Basketball is brought to you by Aurora Healthcare, helping you to live fully.
We live for the moments that move us. The big ones, the small ones, the ones that light up our hearts. At Aurora Healthcare, our heart and vascular team is trusted to make more moments possible. With breakthrough treatments only found here and the region's top-ranked heart program, we're the first choice of referring physicians and patients. Enjoy more moments that move you with Wisconsin's #1 heart care.
Mom! Yeah. So I love
Become who you're truly meant to be. Marquette University, be the difference.
Back on Inside Marquette Basketball with head coach Shaka Smart. And coach, we've talked a lot about the Maui Invitational, and it was great to see so much fan support. I know you shared that as you guys were returning home, just how grateful you were to see so many Marquette fans show up for you in Hawaii, and a number of former players as well. The headliner, of course, the Hall of Famer Dwayne Wade, but Steve Novak and Daniel Fitzgerald, Chris Grimm, there were so many former players there sharing in that and supporting your team. I know they had some time to spend with you guys off the court as well. What does it mean to see players like that show up for your team and even get Dwayne Wade in the locker room, right, and breaking down the huddles with your team as well?
It was awesome. First of all, those guys' level of pride and commitment to Marquette over 20 years, you know, after that Final Four team got done, and after guys got done playing and moved on to other things, the way that they're still attached to this program and this university is special because it's not like that everywhere. And we are very, very grateful for that. You know, those guys, between Travis and Novak and D. Wade, they probably spent more time on a golf course than anything else, but that's well deserved. And when you go down to Hawaii, especially if you live in the Midwest, that makes a lot of sense. It was a lot of fun. Dwayne and his dad came with us on the boat ride that we took, and it was just a chill moment out on the Pacific Ocean. And there's Dwayne Wade giving words of wisdom to Zayd Lowry or Cam Jones, and his dad, spending time around our guys and our coaches. You know, the thing that you're reminded of, even though he's a global icon, he is a human being, and he's most comfortable being a human being, not so much a global icon. Then when we got into the games, he was so locked in on our team, and he gets competitive. I mean, he's a competitive guy, and you could tell, just like the rest of us, he had a level of nervousness of, hey, let's go do this. We got to win this game. He came in the locker room at halftime. The first game, we were playing UCLA, and we were losing at halftime. And, you know, anytime you're losing at the half, there's a level of tension in the locker room, and there's some words that are exchanged, and nothing bad, but, you know, he was right there for that. And at the end, I said, hey, D-Wade, you got anything you want to add? And he had some great stuff that he gave the guys, and then he did the same thing the next day against Kansas.
Do it for each other, man. Let's go, y'all.
Let's get it, baby.
He had to leave before the Purdue game, so I guess we can blame that on him not being there, because he was 2-0, you know, down in Maui at the games that he was at. But just so grateful for all those guys. And I also want to say I'm really grateful for the parents that were able to come down to Hawaii. We have an unbelievable group of parents. They are so supportive of the entire team and of all of the players, not just their individual sons. And I've been on teams where the dynamic is not that, and I'm very grateful for what we have. All the Marquette fans, it always feels like when we go to these early season events that no matter what the numbers say, the Marquette fans are the loudest, they have the most energy, and they're the most connected. But you know what, this is what it's all about. You get a chance, think about this. These guys are 18 to 22 years old. They get to get on a plane, go down to Hawaii, wear a Marquette uniform, be part of this special program, go after trying to beat some of the best programs in the country, and all the while they've got phenomenal support from a lot of people, but even from a Hall of Famer like Dwayne Wade.
Inside Marquette Basketball is presented by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
After a serious injury, you'll need an experienced team on your side. Call Gruber Law Offices today, a proud partner of Marquette Athletics. One call, that's all.
Golden Eagles fans, open a Marquette checking account and score perks like a $50 opening bonus, free ATMs nationwide, and your very own Golden Eagles debit card. Rep the blue and gold everywhere. Wintrust, Wisconsin's bank, the official bank of Marquette University.
We live for the moments that move us. The big ones, the small ones, the ones that light up our hearts. At Aurora Healthcare, our heart and vascular team is trusted to make more moments possible. With breakthrough treatments only found here and the region's top-ranked heart program, we're the first choice of referring physicians and patients. Enjoy more moments that move you with Wisconsin's #1 heart care.
Inside Marquette Basketball is presented by Wintrust, Wisconsin's bank, the official banking partner of Marquette University. Aurora Healthcare, live well to be well. And by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. Final thoughts here from Coach Smart on Inside Marquette Basketball. A very challenging week behind you, but it doesn't get any easier. Now you guys will renew the rivalry. Looking ahead this weekend against Wisconsin, you'll be heading to Madison and the Kohl Center, and then you come back and you've got Texas lined up. So what do you think of the challenges ahead for your team coming off of what was already a very challenging stretch?
Well, the exciting thing is we only have to play one game at a time. So it's similar to, you know, when we knew we had Illinois, then the 3 games in Maui. You only have to play one at a time. So this time of year, it's about, we're striving to play our best basketball when the ball goes up in the air in the game. And, you know, you practice a lot, almost every day. And you're working on different things defensively, offensively. You're working on a lot of situations within the game and at the end of the game. And then your goal is to bring those things out and execute when the game starts. And so these are great opportunities to do so. We've got some exciting games coming up on the road, at home, and so for our team, just like our first half dozen games, we want to continue to grow and improve and be better at the end of the next handful of games than we were when we started.
What do you want to continue to see from your team, specifically when you look at the Wisconsin matchup coming up, which is one that the fans and the team always looks forward to, right? That rivalry with the Badgers.
Well, I think continued connectivity around all the things we need to do on the court. When our guys support each other, I know it sounds basic, but when they have each other's back and they encourage each other and when they tell each other what they need, we're so much better. And so it's like, we'll do that all the time. That's what we're striving for. But these guys are human beings, and there are, when you play in these games, different inhibitors that can come up in your mind because you're a human being and because the last play may or may not have gone your way and because, there's umpteen thousand people in the stands. And so for our guys, helping each other, staying connected around what we're trying to do on the defensive end, whether it's fly around, get our hands on the basketball, contest shots better, rebound better, rotate better, all those things, or what we're trying to do on the defensive end or on the offensive end to put teams in a tough spot to guard us, the connectivity helps us in every way.
Well, to wrap up here, Coach, Tyler Kolek is coming up on a career milestone. He's closing in on 1,000 career points. He is already at 500 assists, and that would make him the 5th player in Marquette's history to reach those 2 milestones. Tyler, just as the floor general for you on your team, what does that kind of milestone say about his tenure here at Marquette?
Yeah, he's a special player, and he's someone that will go down as one of the all-time great players here. Not only that, he's made his teammates better. And ultimately, I think Bill Russell said it, he won more than anybody. That's the best thing you can say about a player, is that he makes the people around him better. And so Tyler scoring 1,000 points, having 500 assists, those are impressive numbers, but those don't even begin to tell the story of who Tyler Kolek is. And it's still the very beginning of the season, and so those numbers are only going to get better.
Well, things are certainly looking up for the Marquette basketball team and head coach Shaka Smart. Thanks for your time, Coach. Thanks for watching.
This has been a presentation from Learfield.